Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live with THiNC Institute of Design. And as promised, we have two of our champions who are currently at Nift, who will be spending half an hour, a valuable half an hour of theirs. That's how I've been asked to mention that. Valuable half an hour of theirs with us. So I guess all of you are preparing for your Nift entrance exams, which is being scheduled for the next week, Monday, and probably there might be a lot of last minute anxiety. You might be having the fire in the belly that's coming up, and there might be a lot of questions that are to be answered. So there aren't any better people than to answer these questions than the ones who have already got into Nift. So let me introduce both of them. Jeevan has been with THiNC. He's currently at Nift Chennai. He would give his own introduction from his side. Jeevan, welcome to the session.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Myself, Jeevan S. Kumar. I'm currently studying at Nift Chennai, second year fashion student, and I was a student at THiNC for 1 year. I joined for 1 year integrated program back in when I was in 12th standard, and also I would like to say all the best for the coming entrance exam. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeevan. Next, we have Harisankar, who's been with THiNC in the last year. He's currently at Nift, Mumbai. Hello, Hari.
Hi guys, hi sir. So yeah, basically I'm from Trivandrum. I was in Think since the past 1 year, I guess. So as of now, I'm in Nift Mumbai. I'm pursuing my degree in FNLE department.
Okay. Hari, I think I'll start with you. It's been almost 6 to 7 months that you've been at Nift Mumbai, right? So, how has it been going? How has been your last 6 months? As expected, any twists and turns?
Yeah, I guess you can say there were some twists and turns, but other than that, the journey has been smooth till now. It's very happening. Nift is an institution which is very happening. You will find a lot of new people. You will get a lot of contacts here. Rather than the degree, I think you will be here for the contacts more.
Okay,
And
that's
yep.
okay. That's quite interesting. Jeevan, how has it been? How is Nift Chennai treating you?
So first year was really happening. It was a entirely new environment for me. And as of now, I am like more used to the entire design world. And coming directly from Think, it actually helped me a lot. It was like a continuation from my first year integrated program from Think to my foundation program because a lot of things will be similar in the first year. So that is there. And yeah, pretty much it. And the department you will be joining will be really different from the first year. So that is also there.
Okay. Great. So to everyone who's watching us, if you have any doubts, questions, and all regarding the last 5, 6 days of preparations, please do not hesitate. Please post it in the live chat box. We will be taking your queries one by one. So we'll start with Hari, since he has been the one who's attended the latest Nift, that is 2023 Nift. So how was your preparation like? Let's talk about your last 5 days. How was your last 5 days? What were the things that you did, and most importantly, what are the things that you did not do?
Okay, last 5 days. I think till the 2 days before the exam, I was like in and around Think itself. I was attending mock tests, and yeah, a very important thing: never miss mock tests that thing give you. Like the mock test that you can attend and think will give you a lot of questions that's gonna for sure appear in the examination. I think that's one of the mistakes that I made. I mean, I wasn't attending all of the mock tests. So, I mean, Ahilya ma'am was behind me for the last week, I think, telling me to attend every test like as I can. So, attend all the mock tests that you can, and try to get hold of question papers, past year question papers, and solve them. And like keep your head cool. That's it basically. Like, don't do much, but also don't do like anything. Like, keep your head in the
Okay.
middle.
Okay. If I talk about the strategy, let's say, for example, you're writing a mock test. So, what are the things that you do after attending the mock test? Like, what's the homework, or what's the process that happens after writing a mock test? Can you also elaborate on that?
After writing a mock test, so you basically like you have the opportunity to go through the question paper again and consult another faculty if you want. Like the faculty who's managing the particular thing, you have different faculties taking care of different subjects, like including arithmetic will be handled by a particular faculty. The like sketching part will be handled by another faculty. So you can like refer with them, go through the questions again, and explain to them what all answers like you gave for the examination, as well as what all like sketching and stuff you did for the sketching part. So I think you will get more or less new information while going through the question paper again. And you can also refer to like online stuff also. Like basically YouTube has a lot of visual guides that will help you get better at sketching going through that.
Okay. So it's equally important to know your strengths and weaknesses after writing a mock test and start working on that also, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. And how about you, Jeevan? How was your last 5 days? How did you spend it?
So I would agree with Shankari in this case because every single thing that thing provides you with, just go through it. Don't miss even one single mock test because that's the only way to crack any entrance exam, be it Nift or NID or whatever it is. And I would like to say, actually practice for the test with lesser time in your mind because that way will be more faster comparatively. And I think by now you guys will know what your strength is and what your weakness is. Don't stay in your comfort zone and go again and again on your strength because that's pointless at this time. Focus more on your weakness. And if it's really new or outside of your territory, that's scary too. But if it's rectifiable, do consult your faculty. And that's what I did. Whatever part I did not understand, whatever questions I couldn't solve, I made sure to get the solution for it directly from my faculty. And whatever your assigned mentor from Think advises you to do, please don't take it lightly. They know the best. They have done this for a lot of time, a lot of years. So if you follow it correctly, it will be easy. And one thing about creative part, since Nift has been the entrance exam is so it's going on for years now. So even for the creative part, there are certain ways to attempt the question. There are certain sets of ways to attempt the drawing. You will get to know if you see the previous year's questions. There are certain ways they are attempting it. So if you refer those, instead of doing a lot of effort, there are smart ways to proceed with the drawing. You will get to know if you refer to past year's answers and solutions.
Okay. Talking about answering the questions with lesser amount of time, I think Hari, last year there were instances of students, losing out time because of the computer and things like that. So, any sort of experience that you had similarly, or your friends had, which you would like to share?
Yeah, sure, sir. So personally, I didn't have any issue with the system, like prior to the examination and even while the examination was going on. But I did find other people in the particular examination center having this issue. So it was a very large hall, and like systems were arranged in a row from the start of the hall to the end. But there were people like staff appointed by the examination council who were going for rounds. So even while they were having problems, you had the opportunity to contact them to get this resolved. But there were some instances where they couldn't even like fix the system after that shutdown. So I think people lost a considerable amount of time while giving the examination.
So I think that's an interesting point that Jeevan is also making. Like always assume that you might lose 10 or 15 minutes. So when you're
Like,
writing the mock test, that is the best time wherein you can bleed, you can sweat, you can toil. And if you are all you're having is 3 hours, try to answer within let's say 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now, talking about there are different papers, right? You have Nift CAT section, you have Nift GAT section also is there. So, considering that CAT has higher amount of weightage, Jeevan, what would you suggest? Like, did you focus more on GAT or did you focus more on CAT? What was your strategy like?
Cat was my favorite part, so I focused a lot on that. And this is actually a might be an overconfidence for a lot of people. People will think that they are creative enough, and they will do a lot in the paper. But there are certain smart ways to do it because they will assess you on the basis of that. And I think that's one of the important points. Should I talk more about on this, or like will I be getting another
Yeah,
chance?
you can elaborate, please.
Okay, sir. So basically, we will get a box to draw or present whatever our idea is. So the key point is to compose it nice. Like instead of drawing it to a corner or to one side or the other side, make effective use of the space. And whatever you are drawing, make it clear. The strokes, everything, it should be clear. That has a lot of weightage. Other than whatever, like if you add like twice more than what is required, it doesn't really matter. Whatever they are asking, if it's crisp and if it's really visible enough, that's the deciding factor, I feel like. And you guys can practice like there are really common objects like a car, a bottle, a house, all these basic things. You can still like refer like last 5 days is really enough for drawing a really basic set of objects like a cycle, bike, and all. These are some really common objects that will appear in an entrance exam, like a question revolving a cycle or a bike. So if you already know have drawn it at least once in your life, it won't be that hard for you to like draw or visualize it again. So that is there. And referring to previous year's solution done by previous students is really crucial in this because you will get to know what they actually require, what is actually needed there. And that's
Okay.
from my side.
Okay. Hari, what was your strategy like? How did you take up? Were you focusing more on CAT?
Yeah, I think I was giving like
I obviously remember the love that you have for drawing and painting. With that in mind, please.
so yeah, I guess I was giving like equal focus on both the things because I was trying to manage my time managing skills till the end, but I couldn't get anything done properly. Like I think you are aware also, sir, that I will
Yeah.
sit with a particular sketching question for like half an hour, 45 minutes around say. So yeah, for the sketching part, pay attention to your surroundings. That will help you get a long way. And scaling is a very big factor for even while making compositions, even while making like scene sketches and all. Scaling is a very large factor that you need to pay attention to. Even while sketching humanoids and stuff, you need to pay attention to the scale and have really confident strokes. Like, don't go over the same line again and again, and keep detailing to a minimum. Only give detailing where it's absolutely necessary. Even like also make sure that the sketching isn't done like undetailed completely. Give details to the part where those are necessary. And I think shadows and light isn't a big of a factor in while like deciding the marking scheme and all. So for the other CBT part, I think going over the language section properly will give you a lot of weightage and will be a deciding factor in your rank.
Okay. Having said that, there has been a slight change in this year. So this year it is NTA that's conducting the entrance exam. It's not Nift. And there is also a slight change in terms of weightage. So the weightage for GK has increased. And aptly speaking, there is a question about GK that has come up. I would like to know how you guys are going to share your answers. So I cannot. I'm finding it difficult to pronounce the name. Should I give more importance to GK? There is a lot to study. How will I prepare the last minute? I'm guessing Hari might want to start that first. How are you going to take GK and current affairs?
GK and current affairs. Actually, I don't think there is a single way in which you can cover a certain topic in GK and current affairs in one go. Like knowing that exams are extremely near and you only have like 5 days like to prepare for the coming examination. But I think relating to this particular topic, I think you can like narrow it down to certain areas like fashion events, Met Galas, things like that. Focusing on like fashion designers, celebrities, brands, logos, etc., might give you a certain area that you can go over again and again and try to find more information. GK is a
Okay.
basic questions. The thing with GK questions is that basically they'll have only like one word answer. So I
Hmm.
think it won't take you that much time to go over 20 questions. Take you like 10, 15
Hmm.
minutes. So I guess narrow down the area that you wanna study. That's it.
So I guess just before I move to Jeevan, so last year was one of those years when they did not ask much related to fashion. So they had brutally tortured the students by not brutally tortured the fashion enthusiasts by not asking anything about fashion. So that was quite scary. But having said that, most of the years they give good importance to fashion. So, like for example, even the new uniforms that were designed in case of Air India, the fashion related current affairs that Hari is talking about, like let's say, for example, the brand ambassadors that are coming out, even the logos that are being changed. I think this year we also had we had sport events, right? Like for example, World Cups were there. There's a lot of news about ISRO that had happened, brand ambassadors, Grand Slams, tennis, Oscars, Oscar nominations, and all are things that are favorites for India. So these are some of the areas that you could, um, you know, look into these areas, this niche you could focus on, and just look at some of the questions brushed up in the last few days. So what are the major things that have happened in 2023? Yes, having said that, yes, Jeevan, let's hear about you. Yes.
GK was my weak point, my weakness, major weakness. So in my preparation mode, I started like really early, like some 6 months before I started referring to sites, India Bix and all this. But now that we have 6 days, I think it's pointless to talk about that. But I think referring to past year's questions, definitely. But the thing is, as Sir has mentioned here, they changed the GK pattern again and again. So I was instructed to focus more on UNESCO sites, all those Indian heritage things. But has come for my exam was totally different. Only like maybe one or two questions have might have from the same topic. So it's an unpredictable thing. So I guess no matter what area you focus on, it's like it totally depends on the paper at the end of the day. So and at the same time, it will be
Correct.
hard for all the students because all the students will be focusing in the same the previous patterns. They will be
Yeah.
studying all the history, all this UNESCO sites and all. But at the end, they will also be fooled at the end. So I don't think it should be that worried upon. But give your best shot. Refer to the past questions and everything.
So I guess that's one of the very most important points. Probably Hari might also want to add to this, because the last year there were a lot of questions that were completely new, or there were lots of questions which were what we call unexpected. Right? So if it's unexpected, then it's going to be unexpected and new for everyone who is writing. See, ultimately it's a competitive exam. This is not a 12th standard board exam, right? So it's comparison. It's not just your performance that matters. It's the other person's performance also that matters, because ultimately everyone gets ranked in here. So again, I think last year we had a lot of questions which were unexpected in terms of, there were also questions I think from chemistry. There were also questions from coordinate geometry, I guess. So that was all shockers for students who were sitting in the hall. It also has a lot to do with what you're going to do when you face such problems in your exam hall. To everyone who is preparing for these exams, not just Nift, all these national level entrance exams, they will throw up things that are totally unexpected. So to have that composure and to realize that there could be other questions that could be easier for me, there could be other areas wherein I could score well, not panicking here and going calmly, as Hari had pointed out, have a cool head, calmly moving to the next area and trying to, solve those questions could be something that's very, very important. Okay. Now, talking about English. So, what was your strategy for English? Having said that, English, the amount of questions, the amount of weightage for English this year has been reduced a bit, and the weightage for GK has been increased from 15 to 25 questions. So, what was your strategy for English? I think I'll start with Hari.
Yes, sir. For basically the language part, I think it wasn't that big of an issue because most of the passages that they provide carries most of the weightage, I guess. I think there are three passages in total. I don't know like how the exam pattern is this year. Past year, I think it was like three passages, right? So
Yeah.
each individual passage carries a lot of weight, and you will get all of the answers from the passage itself. You will just have to like go through them once or twice. Like even while reading it the first time, make sure that you read it really well, not just skipping over it or like skimming over it in like 2 minutes. Try to read the passage in one go. Try to understand it while you're reading. I think that will save you a lot of time, and it might get to a point that you won't have to go through the passage again to answer the questions. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. How about you, Jivan? How was your strategy for English?
We had a lot of questions from English as a topic. So for the one word answers, synonyms, antonyms, I don't really remember what were the other parts, but those are the past year question papers, and I think the whatever sources I got from Thing, it helped a lot. Talking about paragraphs, whatever Harisankar said was really accurate. Like instead of reading it in a whim, you will be really hurrying, like to finish the paragraph in like 1 minute or something. That's really pointless because if you do that, you won't understand anything at all, and that's not the point. So just calmly read it. You will get the answers then and there itself. Whatever that strikes in your mind will be asked later on in the coming questions. They will be only creating the questions in that manner because after all, it has to be easy for students at some point. So read it really calm instead of rushing through it. And for the one word answers, other than the paragraphs, please refer to previous year's questions and the subject matter that thing has provided. That will be easier.
No. Okay, great. Now, if there are still students who haven't, written the mock exam and all, please know that we have a free mock that will be coming up. We'll just share the link for the WhatsApp community, so that you at least need to have written one Nift mock test. At least is what I'm saying. Okay, try to write as much as possible in the next 5 days. If you can write at least, let's say, 2 of them, it will be great. So we will be providing one more mock test. So anyone and everyone who's interested who hasn't written till now, they can. So I would request the host to please share the link for that particular WhatsApp group in the live chat box. We'll be sharing it by tomorrow. We'll be sharing the mock question paper by tomorrow. So that is something that's very important, because Nift compared to UCEED and NID, it's a long exam. I remember students coming out last year and telling it was boring. GAT especially had a lot of time, which you had. GAT was quite GAT went like just like that within a blink of an eye. So you're going to get different sorts of emotions when you're writing those exams. It's going to take a lot of time. You need to write in the first half, then you need to take a break, then you need to come back and perform with the same consistency. And throughout, if you maintain only, is it that you're going to get the prestigious Nift campuses, right? So always keep that in mind. At least one mark is something. Those who are preparing for the 12th standard board exams also, it's something that's very, very important. Now, coming back to the CAT part, so I would also like to know what were the expected questions. I would start with Hari. Like, what were the questions that you had expected, and did it turn out that way? And what was your strategy on the questions on the day of the exam?
Yeah, sir. So, if you ask me about the expected questions, I think most of the candidates who were appearing for the examination expected something along the lines of a scene sketching part, something maybe a perspective drawing, and something related to fashion, and something that involves a lot of color theory. Because Nift is an institute that gives predominant consideration to colors, color palettes, textures, and stuff like that. So I think on the expectation part, I think those were the things that the candidates were expecting. But it's safe to say that we were disappointed. So I think most of the things
And that's I think that's the most buttered language that Hari can use right now, probably.
This being a live session, I think that's the most watered down statement that I can give. So yeah, there were like 3 questions. I think 2 were some from the same palette only. Use lines and shapes to create a composition that relating to an automobile, a product, or something like that. And another one, like the questions are pretty dumb, safe to say. And the third one was to make a comic strip, I guess. That was the only question that was worth giving some sort of detailing and attention to. The other 2 things were like, I guess they were a waste of time.
Okay. So what do you do? What do you do in a scenario like that? How did you work it out?
Like all of the people who are watching, you might know that it's a 3-hour examination. The creative part is a 3-hour examination, and if you keep detailing the questions, you can make use of the complete 3 hours. Like that was what I did. I found that it wasn't enough time for me. I still wasn't complete with my stuff even after the 3-hour mark was over. I was still sketching, I guess. So on the other hand, the questions are pretty simple last year. You could just go through them in like 1 hour, I guess. There were students who completed their work in 1.5 hours. They were just like simply sitting for the past 2 hours, I guess, by the time the examination was over. And the approach you need to give is that read the question properly, understand what they're asking from you. How, like, do you need to give that much importance to this particular question? Go through the entire 3 questions while you get the question booklet and appear for like each of them, considering the weightage. You need to consider the mark weightage. As like sir said earlier, it's a competitive examination, and there are going to be students who have been giving this particular examination for the past maybe 1, 2, or 3 times, so they will have more experience than you. So you need to consider the fact that it's all about weightage. So understand the question first, understand that what they're asking from you is this particular thing, and appear that question in that way.
Okay, that is quite interesting strategy. Before I come to Jeevan, there were a couple of questions. One is there any mock exam from your side? I think guys, yes, we have a mock exam that's coming up, so we'll be opening it up tomorrow. We'll share the link in the WhatsApp group shortly. So we have shared the link for WhatsApp. So you can join there. Is there negative marking still there? Yeah, negative marking is still there. Of all the things that they have revised, they haven't revised the negative marking. So please do not go all hell loose. Please control yourself and attempt it. Pooja Krishnan is asking, is Nift exam easier than THiNC mock test? I am opting out of answering that question. I am moving to Jeevan. Jeevan, how was it for you in CAT? How was your, what were your expected questions, and how did it work out, turn out
For
for you?
creative part, creative part.
Yeah, the creative part, CAT, yeah.
So gladly, these really design-oriented questions like lines and shapes, color scheme, that didn't come for my exam. So that was a plus point. But if that comes, again, as Hari mentioned, there are people who have been giving this exam for a lot of years. So they might know like what to give and all. For newbies, it's a really hard turn. So don't question that much. See, you have the design ability within you. So whatever color scheme or lines that you think is suitable for this question, that might be correct. And even if it's not that correct, you will have that aptitude to present it in a way that it is correct. That's what all the whole design and presentation is about. So don't sweat a lot on that thing. And if you get a chance to what portray your strength, then please do so. I remember a question where I was supposed to sketch a scenario including two people having a conversation over a tea. So I attempted that from 2 point perspective, while most of the people did not opt to do perspective because they thought it's Nift exam. Perspective is more of a IIT, NID thing, but it's nothing like that. If something you can do it really beautiful, then please do so. Because yeah, it's all about flexing your strong point. At the same time, not attempting the weakness. If there is an option to not do that, then please don't do it. That's what you can do in the last minute. And yeah, I think for the if you have like 5 days, yeah, you have 5 days. You can refer to some design principles, color theory. It's really easy. Color theory is really easy. If even if you get a question relating a product or something, you can just say that you use this color theory or you use this color so because it emits certain sorts of moods or anything. That and all are like really easy thing. It's not rocket science, so you can still refer to certain websites and get to know about it. I'm talking
Okay, I
like this
think,
because I did 1 year of Nift and I am more knowledgeable in this. If someone were to talk to me like this, I would have been like, what is this guy saying? It's too advanced. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, it is an approach if you can do.
guys, take it with a pinch of salt. Jeevan is currently in the second year at Nift, and Hari is currently in the first year at Nift. So obviously, yeah. Uh, I also want to highlight that two of them have actually written contrasting Nift entrance exams. So for Hari, it was something that was totally unexpected. They had literally tortured the students, the fashion enthusiasts, in terms of questions. For Jeevan, it was a bit different. I think it was you had a few questions that were expected. Probably the writing procedure, the whole administrative setup of the exam was a bit difficult for Jeevan because Jeevan was writing it from home, if I understand it correctly, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is it. I think if there are any other questions, if there are any questions which we haven't taken up, please let us know in the live chat box. Otherwise, we'll be winding up this session. We hope that the session was extremely useful. Uh, okay, is write up very important? Jeevan, would you like to answer that? What's the importance for write up in the creative part?
Writer.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I remember writing a lot of things for one of this question because I was confident that whatever I have drawn was not that communicative to the whosoever is evaluating the paper. So I made sure to write everything about it. But at the same time, I remember being really creative with words, and I did show to my parents later on. They were like, "You did really great with that." So there's like two different approaches. Be if you are good with words, then use that. But if you feel like your work is lacking the self-communicative skills, then make sure to write in such a way that they will get to know, yeah, what you have drawn here, what you have tried to present here. That's it. And I think it's better to stay within the word limit if they have specified a word.
Yeah. Yeah. Hari, how about your write ups? What was your strategy?
Yeah, right. As Jeevan said, like try to convey what you have sketched out in the paper, and there is a easy way to bypass the people who are like marking your thing. So use really creative words. They like people who are creative. So maybe put in something that you might find poetic. So yeah, use really creative words and phrase it in such a way that the person who's correcting it feels that okay, this person knows his shit. So yeah, phrase it in a beautiful way if you can, so that they can feel that there is some depth to this. Even if you have sketched something really maybe plain, the wording can be done in such a way that the person who's correcting it feels that okay, there is some more layers to this than meets the eye. So that can be done, yeah.
Okay, great. That's interesting. Um, okay, I think the write-up part has also been covered. That aesthetic art, there was a question on that. Okay. Around how much should we score for each section to clear the exam? Okay, well, now that is something that varies from one year to another. It also depends a lot on students who are writing the exam that year. So there is no specific cutoff which we could arrive at earlier. It keeps on varying. So the best thing that you can do is give it your best shot. Okay. So I guess that's it. These are the major points that we had to that they had to probably share after being at Nift for a few months or a few years. If there are any further questions, we would love to answer them. You can contact us at 8086 111 or you can also use the discussion community in WhatsApp. So, any final your final thoughts, your final wishes, both of you. Will start with Jeevan. What's your final?
I would say negative marking. I missed on that. If you really are sure that you don't know the answer, then please don't attempt. The marks can go down go down really bad. And yeah, please don't take Nift that lightly. There is this habit of comparing Nift with NID, and whosoever has attended NID so far, they will be like, okay, Nift, I can just chill for the last 1 week. Please don't do that. Or at the same time, please don't stress that much too. Just take it as any other entrance exam. Give due respect and yeah, prepare. Make use of the time that you have got. I think yeah, that's from me. All the best. All the best.
Okay, great. Hari, final thoughts.
Yeah, so keep a cool head, as I said at the beginning of the interview. Keep a cool head. Like reach the examination center on time. Make sure that you have the hall ticket and stuff. So a lot of people were facing that problem last time. They had like missing hall tickets. People were not reaching on time. There are a lot of confusion going around that part. So yeah, like if you can go through the things that you have noted down in your notepads or some stuff, and yeah, basically all the best to whoever is attempting the examination this time. Keep a cool head and write the examination. That's it.
Can
Okay.
I just add
So
one
all
more
the
thing?
yeah,
So,
please, Jeevan.
so while attending the CAT part, I did it offline, I mean online, but I think when you go to the center, you have this habit of turning around and seeing other people and getting intimidated by the stationery they have bought. Please don't waste time like that. You might have taken whatever that you are comfortable with. That's good enough. Having a four number of Staedtler pencil and having like a 36 pencil, it's all equivalent. Depends on how wisely you are using it. Yeah, that's it. So say that. All that say.
Okay. Great. Thank you to both of you. Can we use colors in cat part? So Swati, they will be specifically mentioning it. I think last year there was a question which they had mentioned that has to be in the black and white part, black and white scheme, and there were questions wherein they were permitting you to use the colors. So it will be basically based on those instructions that you have to follow. If they have clearly mentioned about using black and white, there's no way you're going to use colors. You should not be using colors. Okay. So I guess that's it. Also, give it a point that you submit the papers neatly without any sort of you have ample amount of time in terms of CAT exam. So please ensure that you do not mess up that paper and all. So I guess that's it. These were the major things that we have to talk about. Now we will be having further live sessions, further subject-wise live sessions that will be coming up. We'll also be having curiosity and marathons also that will be coming up. We have scheduled a mock for tomorrow, so you can join our WhatsApp group. The link has been shared in the live chat box. We'll also ensure that it's there in the description and also in the comment box. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, everyone. A special thanks to all those classmates of Jeevan who has joined and given us a lot of interesting
They
comments in
got to
the
know.
chat box.
They got to know.
Guys, this is what happens when you join colleges like Nift, Chennai, and all. So I think it's been a really wonderful session from both of you. Thanks a lot. I really understand that both of you might have had a hectic day, but still you rushed in, and both of you ensure that we had ample amount of time to discuss and things like that. So see you. We'll have further curiosity sessions, quizzes also that will be coming up. Okay. So thanks a lot to both of you. Thank you for joining, and to everyone who has joined in this live chat, in this live section. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, host.
Thank you, sir.